Hello and welcome back to the channel. So in today's episode we're completing part 2 of our 5 days in London.
You won't believe just how much we squeezed in, from Westminster Abbey to Windsor Castle, the Tower of London, the Shard, just to name a few.
If you want to see more of our daring adventure, stay tuned.
Hello world, wake me up to another good morning, time to go. We are all looking for adventure. 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 We are all looking for adventure.
Welcome to the soul of Britain, Westminster Abbey, where kings are crowned, poets are praised, and history whispers through stone walls that have stood for over 1,000 years.
So behind me is not just another cathedral, it's the cathedral. This Gothic giant has seen royal coronations, celebrity weddings, and even a few ghost stories mixed in amongst all the prayers. This abbey was founded in 960 AD. Yeah, that's before your great, you get the idea, grandparents were even a glimmer in history's eye. But the building we see today, that's from 1245, thanks to Henry III, who decided the old one wasn't fancy enough.
Now check this out, the coronation chair. Every monarch since 1308 has had their royal rear blessed by this ancient seat. Charles III, yep, sat right here. No pressure, right?
Over 3,300 people are buried here. Monarchs, scientists, poets, you name it. You've got Isaac Newton and Stephen Hawking resting within metres of each other. That's some serious brain power in the basement. This, Poets' Corner. A literary VIP lounge if there ever was one. Shakespeare, Dickens, T.S. Eliot, immortalised not just in ink but in stone. If walls could talk here, they'd be quoting sonnets. But it's not all royal bling and literary swagger. Westminster Abbey is also a place of quiet remembrance, like the tomb of the unknown warrior, one of the few graves on which it's forbidden to walk, out of respect for all who gave everything in war, but those names were lost to time.
So here's to Westminster Abbey, a sacred mix of crown and conscience, legacy and life.
It's not just stone and stained glass. It's the history of a nation etched into every corner. When you walk these halls, you're not just a visitor. You're part of the ongoing story. So today we're going up and all the way around on one of London's most iconic landmarks, the mighty London Eye.
This beast of a Ferris wheel towers 135 metres above the River Thames and gives you a front row seat of one of the most jaw-dropping skylines in the world.
But is it worth the hype? Is it just a tourist trap with a view? Or is it a legit must-do? Let's find out.
As you step into one of the glass pods, you can't help but feel a bit like you're boarding a spaceship. A slow-moving, selfie-ready spaceship. The doors seal shut, the ground drifts away, and suddenly you're floating above the South Bank.
Look to your left, there's Big Ben standing proud and probably judging your travel outfit. Straight ahead, St Pauls Cathedral. And off in the distance, you might catch the Shard slicing the sky like a glass dagger. It's like getting a bird's eye view of 2,000 years of history, all in a 30-minute spin. So, is the London Eye worth it? Spoiler alert, absolutely. It's a perspective shift, a literal one.
And sometimes that's what travel is all about.
Just west of London lies a castle so grand it's been flexing its stone muscles since the 11th century. Welcome to Windsor Castle, where royalty resides history hides, and the views? Absolute showstoppers.
It's the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world. Yep, occupied. The late Queen Elizabeth II called this her weekend getaway. Think of it as the world's most historic B&B, with crowns. Today we're diving headfirst into 1,000 years of royal drama, Gothic beauty and some very fancy banquet halls.
And to be honest, this castle is less quaint countryside and much more Game of Thrones meets the Crown. This iconic round tower was originally built by William the Conqueror, because after you take over England, obviously the next step is building yourself a serious fortress.
The castle survived the English civil wars, hosted countless monarchs and even withstood a fire in 1992.
Windsor Castle, after all these years, still remains iconic and flawless.
The state apartments are next level lavish. We're talking golden ceilings, priceless tapestries and chandeliers bigger than your living room.
The apartments were probably the best part of the whole visit to Windsor Castle. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to film in here. We also got to see Queen Mary's dollhouse. This thing was amazing. It was absolute next level, with electricity, running water. It even had a gramophone with little records that actually played. This is St George's Chapel, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture and the spiritual heart of the castle.
This is where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were married. It's also the final resting place of 10 monarchs, including Henry VIII, who, let's just say, had a complicated dating history.
It's also the final resting place of Queen Elizabeth. It was lovely that members of the public can come and pay their respects.
Windsor Castle isn't just a tourist stop, it's a living storybook of England's past and present.
And whether you're chasing crowns or just a majestic view, Windsor Castle has got something to offer. Welcome to London, where the weather's moody, the tea's strong, and the buildings, well, at least one of them is trying to reach orbit.
Today we're heading up the Shard, London's tallest pointy masterpiece. They call it the Shard because it looks like a shard of glass slicing through the sky. It's 310 metres tall, 95 stories of pure vertical drama.
You get 360-degree views of London's finest. Tower Bridge, St Paul's, the Thames snaking through the city like a lazy silver ribbon. On a clear day, you can see up to 40 miles in every direction. It's like Google Maps, but windier.
This place redefines drinks with a view. I feel fancy. They were pricey, but worth it.
The Shard isn't just a building. It's a reminder to look up, dream big, and maybe invest in elevator shares.
Footsteps echo through the halls. Shadows dance on weathered walls.
They say if the ravens ever leave the Tower of London, the kingdom will fall. But today we're here to uncover the legends, and maybe charm a raven or two along the way. So today we're diving into nearly 1,000 years of royal drama, betrayal, and a little bit of ghostly gossip here at the Tower of London.
We're talking beheadings, some royal bling, and some seriously judgmental ravens.
Secrets would the storms unveil. If these walls could talk, all the tales they'd weave.
Built by William the Conqueror in 1078, the tower wasn't just a fortress. It was the medieval version of Do Not Disturb. If you were sent here, chances are you weren't coming out. Behind us is the White Tower. You can kind of think of it as the original skyscraper of Norman England.
This was an architectural way for the king to show off the might of England.
Minstrels played in candles glow. Lords and ladies swayed below.
Inside, you'll find the royal armouries. Henry VIII's armour is here, complete with, let's call it, an ambitiously exaggerated codpiece.
Held the lost who weep. How many dreams were won and lost? What was the price? What was the cost? If these walls could tell their tale.
This is Traders Gate. Anne Boleyn, Sir Thomas More and Elizabeth I all were marched in as prisoners through that gate.
And so was William Wallace, although he never made it into the Tower. Despite being the Lord Protector of Scotland, the English didn't recognise that and considered him a peasant. And it was only prisoners of nobility that actually made it into the Tower of London.
Echoes linger, time stands still in these walls upon the hill.
Yeoman warders, affectionately called beef eaters, have guarded this place for over 500 years. Part soldier, part storyteller, full-time legend.
The world's bloodiest execution in English history! Get excited. The executioner went by the legendary name of Jack Ketch. It's recorded Jack Ketch was approximately 6'5" tall, weighing way over 25 stone. He was literally a giant of a human being. But the problem was, he was only a part-time executioner. He was also a part-time family butcher. But, very much like me, he was a full-time alcoholic. Slant. It's water. In fact, the majority of the executioners were alcoholics because they were all literally hated in society.
The crown jewels live here too. Over 23,000 gemstones still used by the monarchy today. If your Netflix password has more protection than this vault, we need to talk.
Shadows dance on weathered walls. Torchlight flickers, whisper.
No filming allowed in here, and more of those royal guards on duty outside.
Standing tall. Who rode forth with banners high? Who fell beneath?
This peaceful green once echoed final words. Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard and Lady Jane Grey all lost their heads right here.
This is the place where silence still screams.
They'd weave of knights who fought and queens.
This space behind us is the Bloody Tower. It's possibly the final resting place of the two princes of the Tower. These two young royals mysteriously vanished.
Spoiler alert, Uncle Richard may not have been very uncly. Historians are still debating exactly what happened.
Suffice to say, when the two princes disappeared, Uncle Richard became king. Now apparently near the White Tower, they actually found an oak box buried with the skeletons of two young children. But there's never been any conclusive evidence that it was actually the two princes. But a bit of a spooky place nonetheless to go and visit.
The lost who weep. How many dreams were won and lost? What was the price? What was the cost?
Today, the tower is less prison, more portal. A place where history breathes through stone, steel and stories still whispered on the wind. The Tower of London was one of our favourite things to do when we were in London, and we highly recommend it.
And queens who grieved, feast
London's calling, and when it does, it usually says, mind the gap and don't miss Tower Bridge. This isn't just any bridge, it's the one everyone mistakes for London Bridge. Spoiler alert, London Bridge is kinda boring.
Every sunrise whispers go.
So we're standing in front of the Tower Bridge. We're about to go up and explore. Very excited. This is not the London Bridge. The London Bridge is a little bit further upstream and it's nowhere near as dramatic as the Tower Bridge.
Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. So I'm running with the wind, standing strong when I fall. Gonna dance in the...
Today we're walking through the towers, the walkways and the engine room to see how this Victorian marvel still operates in the modern world.
Construction of the Tower Bridge started in 1886 and it used 11,000 tonnes of steel and stone to match the Tower of London.
Once you make it to the top, you're rewarded with sweeping views of London. St Paul's, the Shard, the Tower of London, it's all here. Okay, this is not for the faint of heart. It's 42 metres above the Thames and yes, those little ant people below are actually cars.
No more standing in the shadows. I was born to chase tomorrows. Life is either a daring...
The glass floor was added in 2014. It's made of 6 layers of glass and can hold the weight of a double-decker bus full of passengers.
Gonna dance in the storm, gonna soar, gonna climb with the stars.
So walking on the glass is not just a thrill, it's actually a great design because as you're walking you can see the traffic and the people below, and even when the bridges are lifting you can see that too.
To the life that I chase, no regrets, no looking back, just a fearless heart on a boundless track.
So prior to these being powered by electricity, the bridges that is, they had these massive furnaces and these beautifully restored steam engines that would actually lift the bridge. Sounds exciting.
The Tower Bridge is more than just a crossing. It's a symbol of industrial ambition, civic pride and elegant design.
And unlike many other historical landmarks, it's still doing the job it was built for more than 130 years ago.
Life is waiting, hear the call, a daring adventure or nothing at all.
In the heart of London, where the River Thames curls like an old storyteller, stands a giant of stone and spirit, St Pauls Cathedral. It's not just a building, it's a monument to resilience, to history, and to some very ambitious domed architecture. Designed by Sir Christopher Wren after the Great Fire of 1666 roasted most of medieval London, this Baroque masterpiece took 35 years to complete, and honestly, if you've seen the detail on the dome alone, you'd forgive them for taking their sweet time. St Paul's isn't just tall. At 111 metres, it was the tallest building in London for over 250 years. Take that, Shard.
Downstairs in the crypt, you'll find national heroes laid to rest. Lord Nelson, the Duke of Wellington, even Wren himself, with an inscription that humbly reads, "If you seek his monument, look around you." Classic architect flex. St Paul's has seen its fair share of royal footsteps. Most famously, in 1981, it was the glittering stage for the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer. Over 750 million people tuned in to watch that fairy tale moment unfold beneath the dome. Spoiler, The marriage didn't last, but the fashion and pageantry were unforgettable.
We climbed the 528 steps to the Golden Gallery at the top of the dome. It's impossible not to feel something here. Awe, wonder, or maybe just a strong urge to Google how domes work. St Paul's isn't just a stop on the map. It's a moment. A reminder that some stories are too big for books. They need stone, sky, and centuries. London traffic? No thanks. Today we're trading double-deckers for double engines and hopping aboard the Uber boat.
Gliding up the Thames, this isn't your average river cruise. It's a high-speed catamaran slicing through the city's liquid artery, where every stop is a postcard. Big Ben? Boom. Tower Bridge? Hello, icon. The Shard? Yep, still poking the sky.
And the best part? No road rage, no red lights, just riverside breeze and front row views of London's greatest hits. It's public transport, James Bond style. From Greenwich to Westminster in under 40 minutes. That's efficiency with a view. We got our tickets as part of the 3-day London Pass. What a bargain. Uber boat, because sometimes the fastest way through London floats. Ah, London, where double-decker buses are aplenty, the weather's moody, and history lurks around every corner like a cheeky pigeon eyeing your chips. Today we're riding in style aboard the iconic hop-on, hop-off bus. It's not just transport, it's a moving history lesson with a view, and no risk of accidentally boarding the tube to nowhere.
First stop, Big Ben, or technically the Elizabeth Tower. But don't worry, no one actually calls it that. TikTok photo op. Right next door, Westminster Abbey, where kings are crowned, royals are buried, and weddings cost more than your house. And there she is, the London Eye, the giant spinning wheel that lets you stare at traffic from 135 metres up. Worth it? Absolutely.
Feeling medieval? Hop off at the Tower of London. Jewels, ravens, and enough beheadings to make Game of Thrones blush. Then, Tower Bridge. Not to be confused with London Bridge, which is frankly a bit disappointing. But this one, it lifts up. It's a show. If you're enjoying our channel, make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to switch on notifications so you can find out what we're up to next. And please give us a like. Let us know whether you're enjoying what we're doing. The best part, you hop off when curiosity strikes and hop back on when your feet protest. And if you're hungry, jump off at the Borough Market or the Camden Market. That's what we did. Food from every corner of the globe. And yes, it's perfectly acceptable to eat 3 lunches here. So we jumped off and walked through Regent's Park to find Camden Markets. We were on the hunt for some Yorkshire burritos. So, absolutely massive challenge finding the Yorkshire burrito place. It was an adventure. We had to walk 3 kilometres from where we got off the bus, but we finally found it and we are super keen to try these.
And it's like 4 o'clock, so we're really hungry.
Yeah, it's been a very late lunch or an early dinner, however you want to look at it. So these things are basically an entire roast dinner wrapped up in a massive Yorkshire pudding. Hi, how are you?
So this one is no cauliflower cheese. Any sauce?
What sauce have you got there?
Cranberry, horseradish, and
Horseradish, thanks. So these do look delicious. We got roast beef. They have veggies, potato, roast, gravy, Mike has got cauliflower cheese as well, all wrapped in a Yorkshire pudding.
And the good thing is if I drop it, it falls in there. It falls in there.
Yeah, we're up on a eating lookout.
Skipping stones on distant shores, tracing dreams I've dreamt before.
Now, if you're not into Yorkshire puddings, you can get an octopus kebab. Yum yum. Or if you've got a sweet tooth, the Heart Attack. What a great donut. We chose Humble Crumble. This famous apple crumble place is so busy, but boy, it was so worth it. So once you've finished your fine food, you can always watch the freaks or do a little bit of shopping. There's so much variety here, you're sure to be able to find that perfect gift, just like we did. Well, that wraps up our time in London. We really hope you enjoyed spending 5 days with us here.
So stay tuned as we pick up our car and head off on our road trip to Bath via Stonehenge.
See you in the next one.